Hey, good Thursday morning, folks. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. I couldn't remember if I had worn my coral or pink attire. You know, I got various shirts like that this week, so that my wife, if she's watching upstairs, doesn't get withdrawals. You know, I figured I better have this on at least once this week. Heat and storms. That's what we're going to talk about. Is that, quite honestly, Michigan is on the edge of the heat. Southern half of the state, southern third of the state is into the heat. Northern third, northern lower UP is out of the heat, and the storm zone sets up right across the center part of the state. So what you have in the center part of the state, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, Mount Pleasant, Big Rapids, will depend on that storm pattern. And in the end, everybody really swelters for Friday, and it just depends on where you're at, if you swelter into Saturday. And Sunday's continuing to look more and more like we will get relief gradually as we go through the day. All right, let's get to it. So here we go. Dying thunderstorm complex coming toward Michigan, middle of the day. So two things happen with that. One, it diminishes the thunderstorms usually in the middle part of the day. So I expect this area of large showers and thunderstorms to diminish in intensity. We're already seeing that on the leading edge of it. So these are not severe right now. Yes, you go to the art fair this morning. The great time to do it because otherwise it gets real hot. Okay, so two things. This will diminish but continue to move to the east, and it will also produce some cloudiness in the middle part of the day that can hold the temperatures down just a little bit. Hey, good morning, Roy Davis, and you're welcome. Okay, so here's the radar forecast for this storm complex. 11 o'clock this morning. So showers and thunderstorms arriving into the western part of the state this morning in the next 2 or 3 hours, and then as it moves across the state, classic time for it to fall apart, noonish or so, and then on to the east. Somebody had a question there. Mark, want to talk about Saturday Port Huron to Mackinac race, European model or U.S. model? European model all the way. It's been spot on. I am not impressed with our new GFS model. In fact, I'm quite disgusted, actually. It appears to really, can I say this? It appears to really suck. The upgrade that they did. Almost unusable. So, we go into this afternoon. This is this evening, 6 o'clock, and the thunderstorms fall apart. Again, sign that the heat is taking over and building what we call a capped atmosphere, but it's so unstable on the edge of it that you can't rule out these clumps of thunderstorms even tonight into early tomorrow morning. When can I rule out rain? I can rule out rain Friday afternoon. The cap takes over. It's too hot aloft for storms to develop. See, a storm, any precipitation is caused by rising air. Rising air causes the air at the ground that's warm to cool off. The cool air can't hold the moisture, so thunderstorms form. So when we get so warm aloft, the air at the surface, even if it's hot, cannot rise, and that's what we call a capped atmosphere. So here are the high temperatures for today. And again, this is a good temperature. It's being held down by those clouds in the middle part of the day and early afternoon. And really, this high temperature probably will be toward evening once the storms dissipate and the sun comes out. Here's tomorrow. It's a hot one. We'll call it about 95 in a lot of places on the actual thermometer. And that's up to Traverse City, and that's up to Alpena and to the northeast. This is Saturday, and that's why I say that I still think Bay City to Midland and Mount Pleasant southward is in the 90s. Southern part of the state, Detroit, Ann Arbor, you got a scorcher on Saturday, 96, 97 degrees. Grand Rapids probably still 92 or so. This is Sunday, and we're still pretty hot in the south. Don DJ Tottingham, hi Mark, is a capped atmosphere a high pressure system or similar? Yes, it is. It's high pressure aloft. High pressure also signifies heavy air in places, and heavy air sinks, and sinking air causes the storms to dissipate. Then we go into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and we realize why we live in Michigan, because the heat waves don't last long. Okay, now somebody's asking, oh, I wanted to go over this with you. This is the heat index, and this is this afternoon. It depends on where the cloudiness is. The heat index will surge in the sunshine, cool off in the cloudiness this afternoon in the storms. I'll watch those for you. And then this is tomorrow afternoon. Heat index is just a scorcher, feeling like about 100, 105. Ed Berta in Burton, you got feeling like 105 tomorrow, and Saturday again is one of the transition days. This is the U.S. model, which I do not like. The European still keeps the 95 degree heat index up into about Tawas to Houghton Lake southward, but regardless, southern section, southern third of the state, you are a scorcher. Jimmy Dorsey, yes, you should take the day off, and tomorrow too. 2 days off if you want. I'll write you a letter to your boss. I'll send your boss an email. Please excuse Jimmy, too hot to work. He's going to need to stay in the shade and drink lemonade or cold beer all day. How does that sound? Someone's counting till winter. Okay, now the next point I want to tell you about is that I think our weather pattern for rainfall is slowly changing, and it's going to go to backing off quite a bit, and I'll show you why here. Let's look at the U.S. model. It's still okay to look at the general picture. This is a possibility of storms tonight. And I'll show you what a hot pattern looks like. That's what a hot pattern looks like for tomorrow afternoon. High pressure over here, southwesterly winds, and the storms and the cap, the edge of the cap up here. So that is a hot one. Will it be raining to watch the tall ships around 11 a.m. today in Bay City? No, I do not think so. Is it today or would it be tomorrow? Tomorrow, probably not either. It'll just be hot. Now here's Saturday. And the frontal system starting to shift southward. And then look at, and the European shows this too. This is by Monday morning. The frontal system down here, high pressure in, northwesterly flow, and that kind of pattern takes hold for several days next week. In other words, great looking weather. But notice there aren't a lot of storm systems lined up out to the west. So things are going to slow down on rainfall, and I'll go back to this. Give me a second here. I want to show you out here in the Pacific. Give me a second. Out in the Pacific, things are starting to quiet down a lot. So the storms are going to spread apart about 4 or 5 days, and they're going to start to become kind of skimpy as well. All right, so there you have it. First off, and most importantly, I wore my pink or coral attire for my wife, Lisa. I haven't seen her weigh in yet. Hopefully you enjoyed that, honey. And we do have hot weather, southern half of the state, excessive heat warning in effect for heat indices tomorrow, heat indices tomorrow and Saturday of 100 to 107 degrees or so. Storms can be interspersed in there, not for Friday, probably not for Saturday. And then it breaks and cools off for pretty much all of next week. We're looking at 75 to 83 or so for high temperatures, fantastic weather. I'll keep you updated on the weather. This is the time of year where I watch it closely because these thunderstorms can pop up and produce a quick burst of severe weather. We'll keep you updated on that. But right now, the plan is just try to stay cool, try to find a friend with a pool, and try to invade their space, and don't leave. They'll forget about it in a couple of weeks or so that you just stuck around and wouldn't go away. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great Thursday.